Good morning. Welcome to Horse Protection. This is the mare barn. The food goes in their stalls. We open the gate and the horses go in their appropriate stalls. This is the gelding barn. Everybody knows their own stall. It only takes a horse 2 to 3 days to learn a stall. The only hard part is if they go to the trainer or they're adopted out or fostered out and then come back. Good morning, Dempsey. They will always remember the stall they went in, so if at that point some horse is in their stall and you need to put them in a new one, that's when it becomes difficult because they will remember that stall 5 or 10 years down the road. They will never forget where they go. The barn straight in front of you is the mare barn that we were in first. This is the office barn. They came in before dark, before sunrise, so I didn't show you them coming in. And now we're going to go over to the arena barn, and the food's been put in their stalls, and we'll open the gate and they'll all come in and get their breakfast. This is Spiff. Spiff's very arthritic, so he moves really slowly. That's Moo Moo. He's been here since 2001. Was adopted out once and returned. He's a wobbler, which means he can't be a riding horse. That's Bree, Pasofino. And behind her is Velvet, another Pasofino. And here comes Pookie galloping in. Pookie's 33. He's very lame, but he always runs in for breakfast. These are the horses inside the arena. I let in earlier. And this is where the horses can come and stand when it's raining, storming, or it's hot. Miss Roxy is very impatient. She's had her breakfast, but Lulu's just been fed, and this is Lulu. She's a feral Mustang, and she's not touchable. He doesn't like me standing that closely. And these are two horses, one Karma in the round pen and Bruno in Tony's pen. Karma has been adopted out twice and returned twice. She's a very dangerous bucker, so she has to go to a non-riding home, and requires a high-level handler. So she's come back. This is Lisa. She's setting up the feed for this evening. Every horse has their feed amounts and the supplements, who gets the supplements and which ones. Now that all the horses have eaten, they're haltered and brought out individually and groomed and checked for boo-boos or injuries or illness. So everybody gets handled every day except for Lulu, the feral Mustang. And after they come out after breakfast, they tend to take a nap. The hay, two kinds of hay, alfalfa and coastal Bermuda, Florida hay. Feed set up, ready for the next meal. Bathroom. Upstairs, storage, halters, miscellaneous things, extra buckets, sling, tools, winter blankets and sheets that have not been washed yet, the groom mitts and hairbrushes that we've used grooming the horses today. Everything gets washed every time it's used, so it's all clean the next day. So it took 2 people 3.5 to 4 hours to groom 44 horses. And the gentlemen come after us and clean all the feed and water buckets and the stalls. So now these stalls have been cleaned. This is the office. It's Frankie up top. Softly. Music. Tommy. Music and Tommy are still here. River was adopted. Bree is still here. Luna. She's adopted and just started doing 50-mile endurance rides. She's an ex-racehorse. And Monica and Phoebe were the ones that came in last year that were on last year's walkthrough video. And they're in training now. You can see them on our Facebook page. And Peggy is still here. The rest of the office. Now we'll head outside. This is Cheyenne's barn, the one we started with this morning. All the horses have been groomed and turned out. And this is the blanket room. And these are the blankets that have been washed and re-waterproofed. Still about 3/4 of the way done with all the winter blankets. This is the kitchen. I forgot to show you the fire extinguishers in the garage. They're at the front door of the garage. So this is the kitchen and break room. This is the mare barn, the outside from where we just were. And this is the first pasture for the mares. This is the first ones that came in this morning. But they've gone out to their big pasture, which connects to this. And we're going to head out there now. Automatic water troughs. This is the 320 pasture. So the mares have their first pasture by the barn, which is Cheyenne's barn and Cheyenne's pasture. This is the 320 pasture, and they also have the big pasture, which is beyond that they have access to. These are some of the trees that went down in Hurricane Irma, and since the trees all over this county, the water oaks are falling that have not fallen in 100 years. The one walking right straight in front of us is Legacy. She's our oldest. She's 34. That's Destiny. She came in 2013. Ex-racehorse. 2 more ex-racehorse brood mares. Sunny in Texas. As well as Misty. If you've watched our walkthrough tours before, you know that we have cattle on the property. They do not belong to us, nor the owner of the property. They are kept here by the cattle owner for the agricultural exemption. This is the bull. Hi, big boy. Hi. Show how handsome you are. You're a very handsome boy. And horses and cattle graze well together because they forage on different things, so it's actually good for the pasture. And now we're out in the big pasture. And this is Emma, who you saw last year when she came in July, emaciated. She's 2 now. Hi, Emma. And she's out here with her donkey friends. It's Willow, and that's Sparky behind her, her baby she had last June, so he's 13 months old. And Samson, who you saw last year, who is now 3. He was 2 last year. They've actually, the young ones have been for training. They just came back from 3 months of training last week. They learned to lead and load and hose and all kinds of good things so that they have the training in them for their education when they're youngsters, so that they can have all that knowledge and information and training before they go to their new homes. I see you, Spark. And this is what's known as the big pasture. It's about 50 acres. And the cows are now hanging out under the trees, resting from the heat. So the mares and the one gelding, they eat in that pasture and eventually mosey out this way. And then they mosey back at dinner time to go in their stalls for dinner and get hosed off at night. If it doesn't rain and it's very hot, then they get hosed off at night. Hi, Peggy. This is Peggy. She's a 4-year-old thoroughbred that was a reject from the racing industry. And she's got a broken pelvis. Hi, sweetie pie, but she's the sweetest thing, most affectionate thoroughbred I've ever met. She's very affectionate. She loves to be scratched. Ooh, I love to be scratched. Merlin and Sassy, 2 of our elders who were fostered out in the winter and are here during the summer. And now we'll go on to the next pasture. This is the gelding pasture. They're the ones that you saw come in to eat second this morning. And they have about a 30-acre pasture. And that tree over there just came down 3 days ago. I think it was hit by lightning and died. There was a storm 2 days ago that felled that one. So we get them cleaned up as we can afford to. This is the main pasture front, and this is where the 3rd group of horses, the main herd, came into the arena this morning. And they've come through this pasture, which can be shut off if need be for horses that need to be separated. And looking out the other way is the main pasture back, which is also about 50 acres. The manure is here, and it's piled by age. As it's aged enough, then organic farmers come and get it. But it has to be, first pile is the young pile, then the middle one is 3 years old, and the other one behind that is 2 years old. It's broken down enough to use for gardens. This is the south end of the main pasture back. that's the end of our tour. Thank you for taking the walking tour of Horse Protection Association of Florida.